Well, hello, my beautiful Aquarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, the frequencies of the earth are changing at this present time. You can probably all feel it, but what it means is the Tibetan symbols may not be as palatable as they used to be on the ear as we become more sensitive and open to the vibrations around us. So I've sourced a softer frequency to prepare and cleanse your reading. I'm using a Gaia chime to cleanse hourly, so please be mindful and turn down your volume if you're someone who is currently sensitive to sound. So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aquarians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what's going on with you right now, how you're moving through this time period, and what lies on the other side. So let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What do they need to know at this time? What are they going through? Can you please show them the way? How are they moving through this time period? Well, the first card there is the High Priestess. So some of you feel a little bit withdrawn. You have that Five of Wands there, so you've been under a lot of pressure, maybe feeling a little bit depleted in your energy at this moment. It feels like life, it's a lot, okay? And I feel intuitively you're moving through this time period. You know, I'm actually getting this energy that you're the student of life. You've been doing a lot of learning lessons, perhaps lessons that you didn't ask for, that have been challenging at this time, and you're hoping for respite and balance. But I do see here that a lot of you are locked onto your sense of purpose and trying to really create some sort of harmony in your world at this moment. I mean, the Ace of Swords in the past position, it feels like life is transformed somehow. Perhaps you feel like time has been speeding up. There's never enough time in the day. You've still got a lot on your plate. There's a lot to do. And we've got that Two of Swords, but somehow it feels like you're in the same place. It feels the stagnancy, and it feels like there's just a lot going on right now, and it's very fast-paced. However, you may feel that somehow things haven't changed. It's really odd energy that's coming through. It's almost like everything has changed, but still things remain the same. And maybe you're trying to find your way in a world that feels a little bit upside down in some way. So that's coming through strongly. I mean, you have that King of Wands energy, so I definitely see here that you're taking charge of your circumstances. A lot of you may be also trying to withdraw in order to recharge your batteries because you're feeling so exhausted. There's much more vitality in the future there for you. We also have an Ace of Pentacles. Some of you are definitely locked on to grounding yourself, maybe focusing on your finances as well. Perhaps there's an energy here of you having a lot on your mind regarding stability, the state of the world, how it's projected at this moment, the transit kind of energy that we're going through, but also the trajectory that the world seems to be on at the moment. It may feel like it's concerning for you, and it can indicate that, you know, you're factoring a lot of things in right now. and how it affects you and your family. Okay, so I do see that with those swords energy, you do have a lot on your mind about transforming your life, creating stability, and just making life work. You know, with that Two of Swords, a lot of you are withdrawing from drama as well in order to protect your inner peace. But I'll get to each card as I get to it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What else do they need to be aware of? We have the Emperor, okay, and we have the Hangman. How would you like to receive? Well, the Hangman was underneath the Emperor, so this is how it should go in the spread, is what I'm being given by my guides, okay? So, some of you with the Hangman, you may have felt that the world or your personal circumstances were somehow turned upside down, or you feel things have shifted and you're trying to kind of recalibrate in some way. So I'm just going to tap into your first card because the High Priestess, it can be a card of caution. So you're being really vigilant. You're watching, you're waiting, you're tapping into your intuition, you're observing at this time, you know, your world around you, deep in thought, very cerebral. Maybe you're concocting a plan. Some of you with that Two of Swords, you may feel called to be very still in life right now because you're trying to release drama. You're trying to perhaps accomplish something. There's lots on your plate right now. That Five of Wands can indicate there's so many compartments to your life and it feels like a lot, like you're juggling somehow. And it can indicate that you're trying to make all those compartments fit somehow, and it feels a little bit clunky in life right now, but this High Priestess, it kind of indicates that you're in review of your life somehow. It's like you've just opened the door to your subconscious mind and you're reprogramming, as it were. And this could indicate that you are like lost in thought and really kind of contemplating how you can show up for yourself. You're asking questions about, you know, how you're going to show up for yourself today. What is it that you learned from yesterday that you can reprogram today so that you can put yourself in a stronger position for tomorrow? And that's what I mean about being the student of life, implementing these lessons so that you can build on whatever it is that you're building right now. But this is a card of you asking, what is it that you'd like to stop doing or feeling or accepting? You know, it can be that you are writing or even rewriting your personal narrative and you're holding the pen. So, you know, when you get the High Priestess, this can be very much like you're in two worlds. It's like you're in an old part of yourself, the old world, and, you know, you're reaching for something new in your life, some sort of transformation or new start. And it can be that you're trying to recalibrate between the two. And what I mean by that is like you could be looking at old habits or go-to triggers, for example, the quick fix in life, or, you know, maybe it's a routine that you have and you're trying to break a cycle, or you're trying to break out of this sense of what always has been, the familiar, in order to reach something new or embrace a new way of living. But that High Priestess indicates that you're deep in thought and you're cautious about some of the changes you're making. But actually, I see that you're taking charge of your destiny. And I feel, you know, some of you, you may be looking at the sacrifices that you make in order to make life work for you. But I do see that these sacrifices will be worth it. And I see a lot of success here. Now, of course, success and achievement are all things outside of yourself. So this is you looking inwards in order to develop your connection with your higher self. Perhaps some of you are, you know, learning to be more still in life. And sometimes that can feel a little bit dull or boring or frustrating because it really makes you face the present moment, and in that stillness you can see things very differently, where, you know, there is a sense of authenticity where things that used to kind of feel fulfilling just don't hit in the same way anymore. So a lot of you could feel like you're like watching almost like life and how it has been and how it is now. And somehow it's different because you've got that Ace of Swords there, very transformative. Something in your past may have completely changed the narrative in your life. Swords are all about, you know, thoughts, ideas, narratives. So because it is in your past position, I feel some of you are trying to adjust because the Two of Swords can be a period of adjustment to either a new way of living or a new approach to life. And there is this kind of energy with this High Priestess where, you know, it can be that you are stopping, pausing, waiting. You know, you're not rushing into something. It can be that you are reflecting right now to really pay close attention to your hunches. And this could be like in friendships, job opportunities, the world at large. It can be, I'm actually being given a word shock as well. So some of you may have had a shock or a surprise in life in some way, and you've had to adapt, be flexible there. But I definitely see here that you're owning it. And if you have been taken unawares by something in life or been surprised, I definitely see here that you take command of the situation, or you really kind of like process it, heal it, and it's almost like it's a springboard towards more security or feeling a little bit more kind of grounded in your energy. I'm not really sure how to explain that energy that's coming through, but I'll stick to the cards for the moment. But that's what I'm feeling, that there is more balance, more harmony, and more peace of mind in your future, as well as a lot of success. Now, of course, success looks differently for everyone, but that High Priestess, it indicates that, you know, you're deep in thought, you're developing a stronger sense of your belief system, but also it can be a period of enlightenment. Okay, where you're being guided towards something, and maybe even to listen to your own feelings of how your body is feeling. A lot of you, you know, with that Five of Wands, it's challenging right now. You know, you're exhausted. You may feel unappreciated, or there's no support, or you're kind of like under a lot of pressure, and life is hard, you know, and it's full of ups and downs, and you're trying to kind of like remain in balance, be locked onto your sense of purpose. And, you know, this can be conflict that you're trying to remove yourself from. But I want you to be aware, I kind of like the Five of Wands because it is like training. Those figures on that Five of Wands on the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, they're in training to kind of like complete something. So it can be that some of you are literally trying to accomplish something, but you're halfway there, okay? And it may feel you're at the clunky stages of something where things don't fit, or things are looking like you're taking like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back at this moment in time, because it is in a crossing position. But if you know that Five of Wands, you know, each person on that Five of Wands has a wand, and they have like a purpose, okay? And it's this kind of like trying to make everything fit, and those figures, they're trying to create a star, okay? That's what they're trying to create on that card. And you know, all the wands are coming together, and the final pieces are coming together to create that star. And it may seem clunky at first, but actually it is going to be accomplished. The next card up is the Six of Wands, of course, which means something is, you know, fabulous, it's been accomplished, there's a lot of victory here, you know, there's a lot of success. But why I feel it is very interesting and exciting for you is the Ace of Pentacles. You know, that's the completion of the star. And this is the advice to yourself in this moment. Complete something. Make sure you see it through to the end. Even though it's hard, even though you need to sit with it and watch it and observe it and see it from different angles, you're going to complete it, whatever it is. And you are going to have this fresh new start that is going to be very abundant, very rich in its, not just prosperity, but in its potential. Okay, so some of you could be trying to create some sort of new life for yourself, or maybe even make new lifestyle choices at this time, and you're unsure about the direction. You know, if you know the Two of Swords, which actually is in your potential position, the Two of Swords, normally on the Two of Swords, there is a figure who is sitting with self. They're blindfolded, the swords are up, protecting the inner peace in order to hear the heart, in order to trust the intuition, because they're moving out of, you know, a certain territory that feels familiar. They're moving into uncharted territory. They're about to discover new lands or new parts of themselves. And, you know, you're being called to sit in silence and really hear the whispers of your heart, but also consider your options. You know, I feel something new is afoot here because you have two aces. The Ace of Swords can be the idea of something new or a new way of living, and it feels challenging, or it feels like there's a lot of components to it before you fully complete it, but you will complete it, whatever it is, okay? But the Five of Wands, it tells me that you may feel at times under pressure, or there's a lot of conflict around you at this moment in time. I mean, for some of you, because there's two people here, it could be that you feel like you're in the middle of like an argument or some sort of drama, and you don't want to be in the middle of that. So it can be that you're withdrawn at this time in order to focus on your own inner peace and not get involved in something, you know, because that Five of Wands in the resistance position, so, you know, you read it both ways, as I mentioned, it can indicate that you're trying to move away from, you know, this challenge or this distraction. And it can be that, you know, you are kind of like trying to almost be like, like a referee in the middle of something where you feel you don't really want to take sides, but at the same time, it's difficult because that Two of Swords can be, a mediation card. It can be that you feel like you're in the middle of something or having to adapt to a situation or judging it, or you feel like you have to kind of help people kind of calm down. Or, if this is a family dynamic, for example, it can be that there's a lot of challenge or conflict and you feel there's a lot of like arguments or bickering or competitive energy going on. And, with that Two of Swords and the High Priestess, because these are cards where you're very withdrawn. It's like you're not involved in this, and there's some people here. I feel you are hanging back, seeing things from different perspectives, but at the same time, you may feel that you have to be the person who has to, like, almost adult and say, look, we need to stop this, okay? Or prize people apart. I just get this energy of feeling like you're in the middle of something, and I feel like you're going to have an opportunity to diplomatically express how you feel about this situation, that you don't want to be involved in it, but at the same time, your interaction in trying to break this down by talking it out or feeling like you want to make each party responsible for their actions and recognize that there are consequences of actions, I feel this helps them mature. So it's almost like you're here to show people or make them see how their actions are breaking down either a family unit or a friendship group, or it's like life's too short for these petty squabbles. Okay, now of course not all squabbles are petty. There could be some big energy that's going on there, but you just don't want to be involved. You just want peace. Okay, so whatever that is, I mean, it could be in the working environment, it could be a neighbor, could be, a frenemy, it could be a family member. So please apply it to your situation. It could also be that you are lending an ear to someone who's really going through some traumatic experiences, and you are the voice of reason in this because you have that Ace of Swords. You seem to be the voice of reason in this circumstance. Now, I'm picking up a lot of energy with the High Priestess because the High Priestess feels the vibrations of the world, is an empath, someone who doesn't just pick up on vibes with people, but also nature and the world at large. And you can feel that chaos. So a lot of you may have empathy burnout at this moment in time. That's why you're feeling so exhausted. I always say it's important to carry like a black tourmaline or even black obsidian, for example, because this will protect your energy. Because I feel like you're so wide open in your energy. You are an empath. So this could help you if you are feeling moments of anxiety or challenge and you're like, why am I feeling that way? That's not something that's on my mind. It could be that your energy is wide open there, but also this could be that, you just want problems to be resolved in the world. You want harmony. Okay. And you're seeing the undercurrent of everything that's going on right now. The High Priestess is to witness, and it could be that you're trying to understand what is going on there. I feel some of you could also have this inner battle about where you feel like you belong, and you may be even thinking about fresh new starts. Maybe that's in different countries or different states, or, in different arenas where you want to just remove yourself from the challenge or the drama, because I definitely see here that that's what you're doing. But also, I feel a lot of you are contemplating something new in your life where you have to make a decision. And that Two of Swords with that High Priestess, it says don't rush into things. It says pause. Take time to reflect. You're going to make the right decisions. I feel like whatever decision it is, it's going to be a successful and favorable outcome. But the Hangman is to slow down. It is to take stock of things. And I really feel a lot of the collective, actually, not just you, my beautiful Aquarians, there is this period of taking stock of life. What feels good? What's inauthentic? Cutting that out of your life. What is authentic? You're keeping that in your life right now. And with that Temperance card, a lot of you are trying to remain balanced and focus on your sense of purpose. I actually feel like you're an earth angel. You actually help a lot of people that you interact with day to day. But this is a reading that is more about yourself and inside of yourself rather than, outside of yourself. So some of you, in moments of stillness and quietness, because that's what the High Priestess is, with that Five of Wands, there could be this inner battle going on within you about your sense of purpose or, the decisions that you've made. I feel like you've made the right decisions based on the circumstances that you've got. And I feel also that you are continuing to align yourself with the best outcome in your situation. The Temperance card, along with the Hangman, is like relax. easier said than done, I know, because, we got to do life. There's a lot going on right now. It's high pressure. We're all thinking about inflation and how it's hidden in items, so everything's more expensive, and the economy and the fluctuations. A lot of you could have so much on your mind, and it's making you feel like stuck to the spot, but also wanting to change or transform in some way. And you may be trying to voraciously find knowledge about how to transform your life or safeguard your life for you and your family. Structures, for example, financial in nature, because we have the Ace of Pentacles. Some of you could even be thinking about, how do I make new money, or how do I increase my wealth in some way. It could be even a new job or raise or promotion or some sort of investment that you have right now. It can be, how do I nurture this to be really successful? So I feel like you're trying to show up for yourself every day, and it's hard, but you're not giving up, and you're actually really close to making something happen there, okay? I feel things are starting to come together for you, and as I mentioned, all the clunky parts of life, I feel like you will come to a position where things start to streamline a lot more, and it feels easier, so you have more time for you and for your nearest and dearest as well. Now, this is the earthly plane position. So the Temperance card, it is a fluctuation of energy, a blending of energy. Now, for some of you, especially in terms of your body, this could be fluctuations of emotions as well as hormones or even vitamin deficiencies. Some of you, it could even be dehydration and a need to rehydrate. So it can indicate that, you're constantly kind of working out what it is that you're missing or what it is that you need at this moment in time to keep you balanced, body, mind, and soul. And a lot of you, it is the inner peace. Okay, it can indicate there's a lot of pressure outside of yourself right now, and you're trying to manage stress levels as much as possible and keep an even keel. But I do see a time ahead where you're going to have a breakthrough, and actually something that you do or take action on will really help you with this transformation. I actually see that there's a breakthrough being thrust upon you very soon, if it has not happened already. Something new is happening here for you, and it actually is some good karma. Now, the Ace of Swords, there is this energy coming through on someone that perhaps you are at a bit of a stalemate with. Now, this could be something that you're witnessing, because the High Priestess is a witness card sometimes, someone who is mute and just watches and observes and is very vigilant. So some of you, you may witness a person or two people having the same conversation day in, day out. It's like a repeat, because something's been said or something has happened in the past, because this is a past position. But the Two of Swords indicates you can't get past that point. So either it is an argument that goes round and round and round in circles with a family member or a frenemy or a soul tribe member or a neighbor or a boss or just someone, and you're just so fed up of this. So you may be trying to find ways to find a solution, because even though I feel a lot of you are removed from the situation, the Five of Wands, because you read the reverse of it, this is how can I, solve a problem? How can I kind of create harmony in this situation, especially if you are in the middle of this with that Two of Swords. I feel it's important to recognize that, because I see you drawing, it's almost somehow I feel it's kind of not your problem, but at the same time, it affects you a lot. That's what I'm feeling. So I do see that there will be a critical point where there's a conversation had that transforms this whole situation, and you're free of it, whatever it is. So whether it is with you and a partner, or maybe you're just watching and witnessing this, I do see here that there's healing, but whatever it is, it needs space and time to be processed. And with this Ace of Swords, I feel you just want change. You want a new start in some way. And this could be, either in some sort of relationship dynamic. And by relationship, I don't mean a romantic one. It can be, a family member or someone in your immediate circumstances. But I feel this is about taking accountability and having the courage of your convictions to speak your truth, whatever that truth is. Even if your voice shakes, you're saying what you mean to say. And I feel this actually will give people something to think about with that Two of Swords, okay? But again, this is something outside of yourself. So I'm just going to bring the energy back in. Ace of Swords, something within you has changed. And this could have happened in the last couple of years, okay? I feel like you want different things. But also, somehow, with that Hangman, it feels like something got turned on its head. Or, I'm being given this word, inversion. I don't know. It's almost like or reversal, I'm being given this kind of like energy where everything just feels different. It's like upside down. So maybe that's how you're feeling life is at the moment, and you feel still that you are like, you're changed by it, but also you're trying to make your way through it, and there's no going back, if that makes sense. There's only a forward motion, and the Two of Swords can indicate you can't get past something that's been on your mind, because the Ace of Swords is all about the mind, thought, narratives, and this can be that you're seeing a lot of coincidences that almost trigger you to think about something or process something, and you may be wondering, what does it all mean? So you may be sitting with this before you make a true decision on whatever this is. It's not coming up what it is, but it could be about a person. For example, King of Wands energy, Emperor, if this was about a relationship, if you're looking for a high-level commitment relationship, it can be that some of you have been meeting people who are highly attracted to you and very physically, intensely attracted to you, but it doesn't go past a certain point with that Two of Swords. It always ends up in a stalemate position, but you're looking for investment. You're looking for someone who's serious about a relationship. And it can be with the High Priestess, the Two of Swords, and the Hangman, when you meet a person, slow down, watch their intentions and their actions, and believe them when they tell you or show you who they are. And, don't second guess a person when they say something or do something. Their actions speak their truth. No second chances if a person is not valuing who you are, or even like making you an option rather than a choice, for example, because this is someone who's very passionate, right? Someone who's very flirty, someone who actually has the potential to settle down, and someone who is interested in the long term, but someone who, sees the physical first. And, there is a potential there for them to kind of like be emotionally available, but not as emotionally available as the Emperor, who is serious about a long-term relationship, someone who's going to show up for you, someone who's going to be there when the chips are down in life, because sometimes life is challenging. You want someone who is going to be there by your side. So it's like, do you go for the quick fix in the moment, even though intuitively, because the High Priestess is there, you can see that this person is very intense, very passionate. You and this person, very lusty, free-spirited, like magnetic. You're drawn to each other, and that's wonderful. You can have the same thing with another person, but they're looking for the long term. They're looking for settling down, and if you want to get married, for example, that person, the Emperor, would provide that opportunity, whereas the King of Wands will take a little bit longer to do that. And that's not to say that, the Emperor is going to rush into things, because the Emperor, when they know, they know. They're not going to second guess. They're not going to give you a dangling carrot. So I feel for some of you, it could be that you can't get past a certain kind of point with relationships, for example. For some of you, this could be that you're in training for something and you're learning. Now, it could be like some spiritual learning for you. It could be that you're trying to meditate, or maybe do yoga, or maybe transcend a certain state of mind in order to reach another level. Some of you may be learning about your psychic abilities, for example, and you can't get past a certain point. Or even if you're like at college or university and you're learning things, or you're kind of trying to create something, and you can't get past a certain point at this moment in time. But I feel some level of inspiration or some sort of transformative idea or thought is actually going to break it wide open for you. It feels like you're about to have a breakthrough on something that you've been wanting to find the next level of, if that makes sense. Okay, the Ace of Swords is the breakthrough, but the potential with the Two of Swords is that, you have to slow down and sit with it. That's the potential. The Two of Swords is mediate. It is to think. It is to consider your options. It's to take a break, walk away from it. If something is feeling like it's too hard right now, or it feels like it's stalemate, or at like a interposition, shall we say, this is your call right now to withdraw from it. because the High Priestess is a withdrawal card, to think about it, to ruminate on it, to not rush into it. Don't ever feel pressurized to move into anything, because normally if someone is pressurizing you, they benefit from it more than you do. So, the Two of Swords is slow down and think. But also, this can be that a lot of you are just seeking balance. You may feel that you've got a goal in life, you're locked onto it, but somehow you're super busy with that Five of Wands, you're exhausted, you're giving life all of you got, and the Two of Swords feels like you're still in the same place. It just feels like, it's a lot. What's happening? Why do I feel like I'm not moving past a certain position? It's always the same, just a different day. A lot of you feel like you're in some sort of routine and you want to break free. But with this King of Wands energy, I feel like you're going to take action on something and physically transform your circumstances. King of Wands is always an influencer. And, I feel like you are someone who is about to kind of like passionately, or maybe even reignite that spark. If you feel like you've been very detached because you have a lot of like wands and swords here, the Wands is a challenge card. It is how can I put that? For some of you, even a rival card. It can be that, you always see the different sides of an argument. Even if you're having an inner battle, it can be that you're trying to make a decision and you can see it one way, you can also see it the other way. And then you're like, well, which way do I choose? Because there is this rival of thoughts in some way, and it can create conflict or confusion. Maybe you're sitting on the fence on something right now because you feel like you intuitively need to find your way through something, but you will. And that King of Wands indicates that there is a major transformation going on. A lot of you, this can be that you've been feeling like you've been on autopilot for some time. Like you're just doing life. You're showing up. You're doing what you got to do to pay the bills and all of the stuff. You acknowledge that you're exhausted and tired, but you're still repeating the cycle because that's what you got to do, right? We all have to do that. We got to show up in life. But it can be that you need to withdraw to recharge your batteries and think about things in a different way and approach things in a different way. And suddenly you have more energy to move forward with some changes, because what I see here with that Two of Swords is something needs to give or something needs to change. And you are that catalyst for change, okay? This spread is basically aspects of self, but this is the near future position. And I feel that, very soon you're going to rediscover that spark and reconnect to a part of yourself that you feel perhaps has lain dormant for a while or has been completely drained because of life. Okay, so I feel like you're going to be on optimum vitality, you're going to have lots of energy, and you're going to be making some big moves in your life that is going to transform your life for the positive. You're literally taking charge, okay? I feel this is a card of good ideas. That's literally what this card means, but also it means that you are leading with passion. And for some of you, the High Priestess, it can be that you're kind of like looking at your life in review. Okay, and you are realizing as you look back that sometimes you've been a little bit critical on yourself. Five of Wands in that position can be that sometimes, you tear yourself down, or you are, having this inner battle. But when you look back, you see how attractive that you've been, and perhaps you didn't see it or appreciate it when you were younger. You always were striving for something more, or felt like you were not enough, or you were striving for better, but I feel as you mature, you acknowledge that you are exactly as you are meant to be right now. You're in this present moment. You're not Aquarius in the past. You're not Aquarians in the future. You are Aquarius right now in this present moment. And it's about falling in love with your life and falling in love with you, and that you are this bright spark that can influence your circumstances. Again, easier said than done, I know, but I feel a lot of you are owning your energy and being more disciplined with your time in order to transform your life so that you can get the best out of life that life has to offer there, okay? Now, some of you may even be like on a road where you are kind of like trying to set something up, whether it's your own business or become an influencer or an entrepreneur. These are things outside of yourself, but I see that you're going to be very successful in that. Something that you've literally been wishing for, so it doesn't have to be about career or money or any of those things. I feel like you've set a seed with the universe, a seed of thought, because that's your Ace of Swords right there. What you think about, you can literally bring about. You know, in the Tarot, people need to realize that the Ace of Swords is a decision that is made where we visualize our future and we think about it and we speak our truth out into the universe. And then what is above, because this is an air card, so as above, so below, the Ace of Pentacles is the earthly plane. Something that started as a thought becomes reality. So I feel a lot of you may have made a decision in your past to transform your life. That's what I feel. Some of you are like deciding something, but it's taking a long time and it feels clunky. But with that Two of Swords, see the pause as an opportunity to reflect and gather all the knowledge and also gather all the energy that you're going to need for when whatever it is you want shows up. Okay, sometimes people get really frustrated in life because doors are not opening in the way that you want or in the time frame that you hope for. And sometimes these doors, they're locked on purpose because it gives you an opportunity to lean against that door and take a rest and think, oh, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay. It's steadying you and readying you for the next level. So then when the moment is right, the door will open. And I feel this is your door about to open with that Ace of Pentacles, because it always means the start of something that is going to give you a lot of potential. Now, the Ace of Pentacles indicates as well, of course, that, you know, there's been a lot of new things happening in your life, but it's because you're like different or something has changed within you. There's been a transformation and you feel that the way that you're dealing with time, it may feel there's been like a flurry of activity. You're like super busy and the nature of time has been speeding up somehow. I feel like you're going to ground yourself and actually get more things done in a day, but also have more time for you. And the Ace of Pentacles, it indicates that you're aligned with something that you desire. You're making an impact in life. And I feel, you know, your next card is a Nine of Cups. So something that you wish for is coming in for you. Now, this can literally be that you want to be happy. You just want to be happy. That's one of the most simplest sentences. Normally people say, I want money, I want love, I want all these things outside of myself. And of course, those are important things too in order to keep life running smoothly. But I just get this energy of like, I just want like happiness. I just want to be happy. I just want to like embrace harmony and balance. And, you know, I just want conflict to just be way over there, away from me. So I feel a lot of you, it's starting with something simple, like you just want to be happy. And you're building from there. And all the other things that you want are going to come in for you. Whether that is, you know, an opportunity, whether it's love, whether it's money. I feel the universe is trying to offer you some really wonderful things. And now you're ready. But you had to have this pause, this reflection period in order to be open to what is about to come in for you. Now, of course, the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords can indicate, you know, from the very beginning. So a lot of you may have been thinking about your journey from the very beginning and trying to close out chapters in your life, especially with the High Priestess. This can be a period of review where you reprogram certain patterns or cycles of repeat that perhaps have been passed down from generation to generation. Some of you have had a very challenging sort of job to do in order to get closure on generational wounding or cycles of repeat. So I feel you're showing up for yourself and for your ancestors. I feel like they're championing you along the way. And now you've kind of created new karma for your lineage, shall we say. So that's a very deep energy, but a lot of you may be thinking about that and also thinking about your legacy as well, you know, your sense of purpose. Are you making an impact? Are you making a difference? And yes, the answer is absolutely you are. And the Ace of Pentacles, for some of you with the Emperor and the King of Wands, this could also be that you're thinking about doing something new and passionate. But because we have the Emperor there, which is a card of maturity, I want you to be aware, no matter what age you are, it's never too late to start something new. A lot of you are starting something from scratch, but not really, because you have a lot of experience. So you're migrating skills or experience into doing all these new things. For some of you, you know, this can be with that King of Wands energy that you are doing new passionate things or you're contemplating doing new hobbies. You know, you want to reignite that spark in life, but it starts with you investing in a next step in some way. So whether that's you applying for something or whether that's physically like paying for something. I just get this energy of you doing something, because the Ace of Pentacles is in the position of you and your advice to yourself in this moment. What do I offer? What do I invest in? So you could be recognizing what's important for you to spend your time on, or where you feel like your mind should be right now. And that is going to be a reflection of the outcome and how it's reflected back to you, if that makes sense. So you could be like discovering new things in the neighborhood, hobbies, crafts, things like that. For some of you, this could be you integrating and meeting new people, especially if you're feeling a little bit withdrawn or isolated. You know, I feel with that Five of Wands and the High Priestess, I mean, this could literally be, some of you have been feeling very insular, very thoughtful, and it's been a little bit too peoply out there right now. So you've been really withdrawn in order to focus and prioritize on your own needs and your own development in life. And, you know, this pause has allowed you to take stock of valuing yourself and seeing the world in a different way, so that you can approach things in a different way as well. Because I definitely see that there's something new and different and changed about you, and there's this energy of you not going back. But I also see you valuing yourself in a deeper way as well. And things outside of your self position is the Nine of Cups. The universe wants you to have what you wish for. So I see two aces here. I see a Nine of Cups. So I do see some really awesome opportunities or potential opening up for you, and some really great news coming in as well. You know, this could be a new venture. It could be a new creative start. It could be a new period of spiritual enlightenment. You know, you're in your primal power at this moment in time when you get to this point with that King of Wands energy. And this is the near future position. So life is about to get very exciting for you, and that Nine of Cups indicates that the things that fulfill you and bring you joy, you shall have it. You know, dreams can come true. And of course, we live in a time where there's a lot of challenge, and, you know, sometimes it chips away at our confidence, and we feel like it's making us smaller and smaller and quieter and more thoughtful and reflective. I actually see a lot of people being very observant at this moment in time and this moment in history. I mean, for some of you with that Emperor energy, you could be looking at governmental structures or the way that the world is run, because the Emperor can represent authority or authoritative figures. And it can be with that High Priestess, you're cautious. There's a lot of conflict going on. You could be keeping an eye on how things are moving. Two of Swords can indicate some of these conflicting situations are at a stalemate, where it seems tit for tat, or, you know, there seems to be a lot of kind of, how can I put it, chaotic energy, where we're just suspended in this kind of upside downness in the world, where everything changed and we're wondering, well, when did it flip? When did it transform? And how did we allow it to get this way? And who is the person to come on in and say stop? So I feel you're very observant about what's going on right now, and making your decisions based on how you feel, or intuitively the hunches that you have and the circumstances that you've got, and you're making some decisions, but the ones that you make are going to be the right ones for you. I see that, and I feel like you're in a very stable position as well. You know, the Emperor and the Nine of Cups can indicate that you're protecting your hopes and dreams, you're protecting your finances, you're making sure that you get really great advice in order to make sure that you are fulfilled, and that, you know, the people that you care about, because there are people here, even though these are aspects of self positions, this can indicate, you know, that you should be really proud of all that you're achieving, and the most important thing is to maintain and sustain. So I feel a lot of you with this card in this position, you are going to get what you wish for, but it all starts with a thought. And it's really important, and easier said than done. Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from conflict or fear in order to envisage a brighter future, because that's the vibration that we lock onto. So even though I feel like you're exhausted with the way things are right now, and fed up, and know that there needs to be a change, whether this is in your personal circumstances or things outside of yourself, I really get an energy here that you're taking ownership of your life, and things are going to get infinitely better for you there as well. Now, the hope and a fear for some of you, because we have a Hangman, the fear is being suspended either in the unknown or the sacrifices that you are making in your life right now. You may feel, is it worth it? What's the outcome? Am I on the right path? Well, the answer is yes, you're on the right path, and I feel the sacrifices will be worth it. But with the Hangman in the hope and a fear position, some of you may feel either that there was a missed opportunity, whether that was with a person or with an opportunity itself, job, or a place to live, whatever it was. I want you to be aware what is meant for you will never ever pass you by. Either, it was not meant for you and something better is about to be offered to you, because you have two aces here. So with that Nine of Cups, there is pretty much a wish fulfillment coming on in here. Or it can mean that something will come back around. Maybe even in a different form, but it's coming towards you. So if I'm going to give you an example of what I mean, like some of you could be talking to someone right now. If you're looking for love, for example, you could be talking to someone who is very attractive, very flirtatious, a lot of intensity there. Or even it could be like a really hot opportunity that you kind of like dreamt into being. You worked really hard for it, but then you manifested it and it's there. But the Ace of Swords can indicate past. So you may feel that you have to let go of something that you feel has the potential to either not be right for you or is temporary, or you may feel that the opportunity was missed. You had to let go of it. Well, the universe is saying, well, actually, just wait. I got something better up my sleeve. The Ace of Pentacles is something that is going to stick around. It is the Emperor energy. It is, this alternative opportunity that is going to be with you for the rest of your life, that is prosperous, that is secure, whether it's an opportunity or a person. There's something better on the horizon. Trust the process. So the hope and a fear can be, as you see this figure, it's like, if I let go of this branch in order to grasp this other branch, will I be safe? Is it the right thing to do? Should I stay where I'm at? The Two of Swords, is a figure sitting on a very calm shore. There's no threat. The swords are up, though, because she is protecting her inner peace, and she's about to do something bold and daring and move out of a comfort zone. And there's stepping stones towards a beautiful island in the background. So it can be that you're moving through life right now and about to embark on a new journey or uncharted territory, and you're feeling a little bit uncertain about the way, but the universe is providing stepping stones for you to get there. And you will get there, and it is secure, and you're going to love it, whatever it is, okay? So I see you embarking on something new, and you're not missing out by letting go of one thing in order to choose the other. The thing that you choose, or the person that you choose, or the opportunity that you choose is the right decision. Intuitively, you've made it, and that is something that will help you kind of reignite that spark for life, but also fall back in love with your life again as well. Now, of course, the Emperor energy can indicate that you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, and, with that King of Wands energy, it can be that you just want to have fun. You just want to have, an opportunity to follow your passions, have more time for you, have more opportunity to rest. And I do see that will be coming in for you. But the Emperor energy indicates you have a sense of duty as well that you're locked into, but there's going to be structure. So I would say a lot of you are trying to find your way towards a structure that works, where you can have more time for you, more time to spend with your nearest and dearest, or your friends, family. And I feel like, a lot of you are locked onto a 5-year plan that will be successful, whatever that 5-year plan is for you. Also, the Emperor energy can be that, not only are you achieving something, you've been doing something that perhaps other people don't have the courage to do. But you sat with self and you made a decision, and it was the right decision, and it is going to be something that secures your future. So, I really feel that you're taking ownership of your life right now. I mean, I feel these are aspects of self, and you're locking on to a dream or a goal. I mean, for some of you, this can be that you're thinking about retiring and you're a little bit nervous. Maybe the economic climate has made you feel a bit like worried about how things are going to pan out for you, but I see that you're going to be secure. And some of you with that Emperor energy, you could get really great financial advice from someone who has a lot of knowledge and compassion, who can help you set up some sort of structure to safeguard your finances for the future, for example. So I feel a lot of you, if you are trying to make a decision about something, doesn't have to be about your 401ks or pensions or your financial acquisitions, but because you have an Ace of Pentacles there, I had to mention it. The Two of Swords can be that you're trying to make a decision on something, and you feel like you've hit a level or a glass ceiling in some area of your life that you just want to smash through, okay? And you're powering up. You're definitely going to be empowered here, but some of you may want to either get advice from someone or even learn from someone or something that helps you reach the next stage, whatever the next stage is. So it can be that like you feel like you've hit a glass ceiling in your career, for example. You're someone who has a lot of great ideas. You're someone who is passionate about what you do. And the Emperor energy is reaching the top of your game where you are a pro and being paid accordingly. Some of you, it could be moving into being a consultant or running your own business, for example. But that Two of Swords is hanging over you. Some of you may feel you've hit a plateau or you're at a stalemate position in your circumstances right now. You've reached that moment where you need to make a decision. And that decision is, should you stay? Should you go? Should you train more to get more qualifications, to step up into a new pay grade? So a lot of you, I feel, whatever it is that you're going through, it's a decision that you're sitting on right now. And you're kind of like calling something into review. And I feel that, you know, there's a lot of great things ahead of you. I feel like you're secure in a situation. And I also feel that there is a new start here that is going to reignite your passion, maybe even rediscover a part of yourself. You're going to feel more energized with this sense of purpose. Because a lot of you with that Temperance card, there is a purpose energy. Okay, just going to go get some final cards for you as well. So, we have, interesting, we have those that lie down with dogs, get up with fleas. Okay, so some of you could be distancing yourself, as I said, from some sort of drama or something that could impact you in a negative way. Doesn't have to be connected to family or friends. It could be something you witnessed or something that perhaps, you know, you just don't want to get involved in at this time and you feel a little bit like bound, but you have to make a decision on something. But I definitely see here, you know, that sometimes we are the sum of the people that we spend time with. So it can be that you are removing yourself because you want to accomplish something and you don't want distractions, or you feel that perhaps you are super hungry for a certain way of life, or you're ambitious for something in order to maybe financially safeguard you and your family. And it can be that you just don't want distractions. And I just get this energy of you kind of like removing a situation where either there's a distraction or you feel like someone is a pest, for example. It could be that you're distancing yourself from someone who's a pest. I mean, if you think about the nature of fleas, they are bloodsuckers, right? Draining your energy. So it could be that, you know, you are looking not just at people, but at situations that drain your resources. And you feel it's time to distance yourself from these things and sit with self and really acknowledge what it is that will propel you forward and make you feel fulfilled, and remove yourself from anything that drains you or your kind of life energy, you know, or your resources in some way, your life force, your joie de vivre, for example. Normally people who are like super negative, if you have a goal or dream and they say, oh, you know what, no one accomplished that, or you can't do that, or you're from this town and you're probably staying in this town. It's like, well, what's wrong with that? But you may be trying to accomplish something, or you might be trying to do something or launch something. Whatever it is, I see that you're going to do it. It's going to happen for you. You're secure enough to be explorative and try, and you're going to rise up. That's what I see there. We've also got inner trance. Okay, so this can be a period of like reviewing or sitting with self, meditating. For some of you with that High Priestess, you could learn how to be in trance. That could literally be what you're doing. So please apply it to your situation. That's not going to resonate with everyone. But it says, lost in a trance of emotions, feelings that you'll never forget, profound feelings, mind-blowing experience. So it can be that, you know, you're looking at life right now and you feel that everything's the same old thing, just a different day, and you're searching for an experience that will have a profound effect on you. Whether this is a spiritual influence or an experience that will have a profound effect upon you, I feel like you just want to be free, rewild, as it were. So you could be going traveling, for example, to perhaps learn more about culture or history, or, you know, absorb things that your ancestors may have absorbed or created in some way. Some of you may be just wanting to learn more things outside of yourself and be that student of life to inform your path. We've got, you already possess everything necessary to become great. And you've got the Emperor, which is basically a symbol of greatness and reaching a certain level in your life that you're going to be really proud of. Okay, we also have shamanic drumming. Allow music to heal your soul and connect you to spirit. Expression, music, signs, and sound healing. You know, all of your cards, it's like you connecting to your higher self or to your guides. So perhaps there is a message here where your guides are calling out to you and saying, you know what, in silence, you'll hear me a little bit louder. Whether you're embracing shamanic drumming or perhaps some of you are utilizing music, some of you are actually going to receive messages through music and lyrics. So listen out to certain songs. Sometimes I really like to ask my guides to send me a song that has a specific message for me. And, you know, I would say 99.9% I get a very specific song, normally something I've never heard of, that comes in with like a bit of a pow message where I'm like, whoa, okay, that was pretty much on the money of what it is I'm asking at this time. So you may find some answers through music at this time as well. And we also have revolution. So maybe there's a bit of a revolution going on within you. Something is changing. Something is rising up. I mean, the whole trajectory of your reading is if you're feeling a bit stuck right now or feeling a little bit on autopilot, you're like rediscovering the spark. And I definitely see here that there is a revolution or a movement forward, progress, a leveling up in your life in some way. And it says the upper world is helping you transform and get rid of your worries. Dramatic change, evolving and reshaping. And I definitely see here that you're reshaping, and also your guides are protecting you, redirecting you, and actually sending you 2 opportunities to literally transform your life, but also something that you will celebrate. There's 2 here for you. And, you know, I'm getting this energy of, how can I put that? It's like there is an eclipse on this card. So it can indicate that you may feel a part of yourself has been eclipsed, or you may feel a part of yourself has lain dormant. But as you can see, it's like this passionate, fiery kind of energy from the sun is emerging. And you have this fire energy right here. It's like you're emerging triumphant from a challenging situation. And, you know, it gets better from here is what I see. You conquer something. And I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a ring before we close. Okay, we've only got 1. And we've got a very ornate book here. So this can indicate that this is a new chapter in your life and you're embracing it. You're closing out another chapter. I mean, some of you could literally write a story about your life. There's a book in there. You know, some of you may be contemplating that. Ace of Swords, you may have even started thinking about your memoirs or writing about your story. Maybe you're deep in thought about the challenges that you've had and how you've been rising up above these challenges. And these things can actually help inform other people, but also perhaps create a business for you, maybe in some way. But it could be a cathartic experience where you're documenting, and it doesn't even have to be documenting for people. It can be for your family. Maybe it's you keeping a diary or a blog or something that you'll pass on to generation and generation about who you are, you know, the impact that you're making in your life right now. So I feel with this book, though, as I mentioned earlier, it came through very strongly in your reading. It's about you acknowledging that you are a student of life and you've been through some stuff and you've learned some lessons. And this next chapter, you're holding that pen, and I really feel it's going to be a great one. Okay, so okay, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. My guides just said you are the lead in your own story. Don't ever put yourself in a support role. Okay, so that's something that's just come through very strongly. Okay, and also before I go, I'm being given this energy. If someone ever has to think about you or, you know, contemplate you and your presence in their life, let that be your final answer. You know, you're not a question mark. You are a whole sentence. And, you know, you're already written in strength and in softness and in self-worth. And no one can question that, especially not you. Okay, so that's something that just came out there too. So I will leave that there, my beautiful Aquarians. I hope something resonates in this reading for you. It was a little bit complex, but it may not resonate with everyone, of course, but I have to honor the energy that's come out and the message, which will be different for everybody, of course. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Aquarians, and love and light.